So again, welcome everyone. We're really excited to show you menus, our new feature here, where we're going to be able to show you about costing out an entire menu. Previously, in meez, as a lot of you were able to cost out individual recipes really well. But now we're going to be able to take one step back and see it from kind of a more bird's eye view of your entire menu all at once, and see the recipe costs for each of those, and then be able to engineer your menu from there. So this has been a project that we've been working for, oh geez, well, I don't know how long, but a long time. We've been working on this for a while, and
Well over a year, Doug. Yep,
over
about
a
a
year
year and a
now.
half.
Um,
I've met many of you in person when you were first learning about me's. And just to follow up on something Doug said, I didn't mean to interrupt, Doug, but
Go
a
ahead.
lot of people really appreciate and see the theoretical costing of one recipe at a time in me's. But there was always a lot of questions like, do I need to drill into every recipe to see my theoretical costs on that recipe? When you're operating a big, a large operation, multiple units, obviously that becomes something a little tedious to go in there and check on that cost. They're being updated by inputs that you're putting in, whether you're scanning invoices or we're connecting to your inventory. Now you're going to be able to view all of your costs on one page and then some, of course, because you're able to build the whole menu. And then as we're going to show you, you'll see the weighted menu, not just an average of all the items on the menu, but also weighted by the sales data that we input.
Right. Yeah, if you want to hit up one of our first menus, we built a couple of kind of sample menus for y'all to see today. So Sergio, if you want to jump into one of them, or actually maybe we start at the splash page so we can just show everyone kind of what it looks like.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. So not everybody here has already been in me's, but for those of you that are already working in me's, you know that your recipes in me's, of course, beyond being dynamic and being amazing training materials and all the conversions and scaling features, you're also calculating your theoretical cost down to the penny. So a recipe that you already have costed in me's, of course, is what you're going to build your menu with. You're going to build your menu, build out menu items, and then each of these items can be connected to the recipes and me's as well as ingredients. And by ingredients, I mean in the case that you have a recipe for the white bread and for the chopped liver, but there's an ingredient like mustard, or a bread and butter service where there's just 2 ounces of butter on the plate and then a recipe for bread. That's what we mean by ingredients as well as recipes can become your menu items. So then from that costing, of course, all of these columns are populating and showing you not just your food costs, but your percentage, your profitability. And Doug, I'll let you continue with the intro from here.
Yeah, for sure. So, basically what you're looking at here, you can see we'll start from the left-hand side as your menu items. You can add menu items at the very bottom there. There's going to be a link that says add a new menu item here. So you just add them as you go. And you, like Sergio said, you're linking them to existing ingredients, existing recipes, existing plates that you've already built in me's. And once you bring them in there, you have a place to put them in a category. So if you want, and now these become all sortable. You can sort by category so you can see each section of your menu there. You would enter in your sell price for the item as well as the quantity sold, and the rest of the column information will start to populate automatically. So you can see the food cost dollars as well as food cost percentage and profit margin. Those will all come in automatically as soon as you put in that sell price and you already have your ingredients costed. Obviously, all of this hinges on costing your ingredients first, which is really a topic for another webinar. We've done a ton of, there's a lot of resources on that out there already. So we're not going to go into that too much detail today. The last three columns there, revenue, gross profit, percentage of sales, all come from the quantity sold column, kind of third from the left there, if you want to highlight that, Sergio. Yeah. So by putting in numbers there, that's going to address those last three columns. So right away, you can see a kind of, like I said before, a more bird's eye view of all of your items that you have on your menu, not just the single recipes that we were able to do before. So right away, you can see this is going to make a huge impact on just how you're able to see all of the information all at once, and then be able to sort, using those columns, really quickly see percentage of sales. What's your, best selling item right now? What's your worst selling item? Profit wise, same thing. So all that's really, really helpful to just be able to adjust. And of course, the really big things across the top, right? Your menu percentage overall. So not just by recipe, and then total revenue, total profit, of course, all generated out of this data here. By the way, if you want to jump over to the wine list one, Sergio, real quick.
Yep.
A lot of you might have multiple locations, but probably similar menu across multiple locations. You will have a drop down if you were in that kind of category of the different locations as well. So you can see the difference in menu cost percentage depending on your different locations, what kinds of the differences in your costs, cost of goods, and be able to kind of compare the 2 or the 3 or the 4 or the 15 or however many you have right from here as well. All right, and then one of the coolest features I think about this that we were able to get in on this first round is the variance. And I think for sure Sergio is going to talk a lot about the variance next, because this is where we can really start to engineer your menu, and you start with what you have presently and then see what happens when you make these adjustments. So Sergio, if you want to jump into
yeah, of course.
The maybe the chicken liver mousse, or however you want to go for it.
Yeah, of course. So as Doug's saying, the variance is here, which you can toggle. As soon as I toggle this variance, it's basically freezing where I am right now and saying, okay, this is where we were. This is our current menu cost, current revenue and profit. And now if I start making some changes, like I might want to see, what's going to happen next month if I increase the price of this chicken salad and the chicken liver toast a bit, 2 great selling items, but maybe we wanted to improve the food cost a little bit, raising their price, and what that's going to do. Our menu food cost just came down by 10%. Our revenue and profit are increasing as we make those changes. So obviously, you get day-to-day reporting from your point of sale, showing you your sales data, showing you exactly where you are day to day. In meez, your food costs, your cost of goods is being updated daily, whether it's through manual inputs or automations. But this is the kind of report that you want to look at maybe at the end of the quarter, and you see how you performed and how you can engineer the menu to make a better profit next quarter, or what's going to impact the sales. Is there one item that is just making an awesome food cost, but you're not selling enough of them? Maybe dropping the price by 25 cents is going to increase the sales of that item, which is your best performer. All of those little variances that we know can impact the menu, we can be testing that before we launch into the next cycle, the next quarter, the next menu launch, whichever part of it we're doing. So whether it's an adjustment here or in the wine business, we and that's the beauty of it. As I said, we're not having to input whole recipes into this one. I know a lot of you are operating in restaurants where there's big wine program, beverage program. You might not be doing recipes, of course, because it's not a cocktail, it's just a pour. So here's 0.2, 1/5 of a bottle is our glass of wine. And obviously, we're always weighing things like, the distributor's offering us a huge discount if we can buy the wine by the pallet, but cash flow is always tight. So we're constantly trying to figure out, is next quarter, if we buy those, a couple of our wines by the glass, our best sellers by the pallet, are we going to be able to justify that? Are we going to be able to bring in, I didn't have my variance toggle, but are we going to be able to bring in the added revenue that we need to make that large purchase? And this is a great tool to help us start to get there and say, okay, we are going to spend some more money. We're going to buy these pallets by the wine, but if we've increased the price of all of them by the end of the quarter or by the end of the month or year, we'll have X amount of additional profit that's helping us justify that purchase, of course. Same thing if we're looking at a food menu, of course, these are all recipes, but there are common ingredients in many recipes, something like butter that might be in every recipe. And we might be looking at making a big purchase on butter, or we found a new vendor that's got a better price. And when we make that adjustment on the back end on one ingredient, we can see all of our menu items improving in food costs and our overall menu performing and our overall profits and revenue increasing as well as we go.
One quick thing, Sergio, if you want to jump into the chicken liver toast, something that happened a lot, at the last restaurant I worked at was getting just constantly folks asking, can I get an extra piece of bread with this? Or can I get just add-ons like that? And just to actually be able to click on this and make that adjustment and see right away what that actually does cost you over time, over the course of adding that repeatedly, course of these, number of, orders can be, or conversely, what if the percentage is too high and we just want to lower the quantity of the chicken liver, of the chopped liver on the product? You can easily just click that 3, turn that to 2, and see the variance again of how much more money you'll make by selling at the exact same price, just with slightly less. So all of these little kind of tinkerings obviously can amount to a ton after, months, course of the season, course of the year, being able to make these adjustments and know just even a small percentage point goes a really long way.
Yeah. So we have a question there in the chat, Doug.
Yeah, someone says, is the sell price compatible with Toast POS auto populate? Yeah, we know we're going to get a bunch of these questions. This is really the big ask here. Sergio, when you want to take it away?
Yeah, of course. So what we're looking at right now is version 1.0 of this release. It was literally just went live last week, which is why all of your inboxes have at least a couple of emails about meez menus in them. On this first release, the quantity sold and the menu and the sell price are manual inputs on your end. The very next release of this, by the end of the year, is going to allow you to do bulk imports of your menu, as well as a sales and PMix report. So this quantity sold will be imported from any point of sale system, of course, Toast being at the top of that list. And should pull menu price. Let me confirm that, but it should all be coming from your point of sale, as well as the menu item names. So you'll have the ability to build a menu right from your sales PMix report. The menu will drop in here, your prices, I'm assuming that part of it, I can confirm that though, and your quantity sold. And then all you'll have to do is connect the recipes that are already costed in meez to these menu items to get that theoretical food cost in here.
Nice. All right. No other questions at the moment. Yes, take it away, Sergio. I guess we already talked about changing the sell price here. Also, obviously, changes a little bit of in terms of the variance. Obviously, changing the sell price there. We already talked about tinkering that. Yeah. So why don't you go ahead with the next phase here?
Yep.
I think we're at
sorry, I saw a question pop up there that I was reading if this was included. Yeah. What's that?
Do you want to go into the tiers, kind of what it looks like right now from the perspective of premium versus?
Yes, of course. Sorry, I thought you meant tiers on the menu here.
You're good.
So on meez pricing, the question was, is this included currently in meez premium? What you're going to see in meez premium, if you're a current meez user, is you're going to see a basic menu addressing that very first point that we talked about of, are you able to see all of your percentages, all of your recipe percentages in one place? So what you're going to see there is going to be a basic menu version that's going to give you all of the recipes or ingredients that you've selected here, with a sell price and your food cost all in one place. But none of the math and calculations are happening here, and no quantity of sales data is plugged in there. Now, Premium Plus is our new tier that includes the full version of menus, monthly or annual plans. And we've also now included invoice scanning on the Premium Plus plan, because obviously to build these menus and have them updated and have your cost of goods reflecting accurately, we want to make sure that you have updated costing. So either invoice processing or a third-party data feed from an inventory system, R365, Margin Edge, Plate IQ is all included on the Premium Plus plan, and unlimited menu creations with the full features.
And for those who don't know, the invoice processing side of things is, really straightforward, really simple. You basically take pictures with your phone, or you scan it through, a scanner, email it to us, and it all gets digitized and processed and lands right into your meez account. We have a lot of information about kind of linking everything up and getting things nice and tight, and being able to see, like, from your recipe right here, the item ID number from the vendor, and these will get updated in real time every time you send it a new invoice. From whatever vendor you have. So it's gonna be a really helpful tool as well that comes with the package. It just kind of closes the circuit a little bit on your purchasing, and then being able to see it all in one place, knowing that every ingredient's been updated with every invoice.
Yeah. And for those of you who already use either invoice processing or a third-party feed, you're aware that there's a mapping process to map your ingredients to those purchase items. And this is something that you may or may not have seen already as part of the releases, is that you can now search your purchase items table right here from the ingredient, which would make that connection and map the ingredient right here at the recipe level. But of course, it would be mapped across all of your purchases. All of your recipes that use this ingredient. That ingredient would be mapped and connected to the item that you found in the purchase items table. So you can do it at the table or right here at the recipe or at the ingredient level now.
Sergio, do you want to pop back to the homepage real quick? Because I think one thing would be helpful just to show for those who haven't really been, there's probably a lot of people who are on trial or business users. So you'll see right now the menus feature is right in the center there. To create a new menu, first of all, you can have as many menus as you want. Is that right, Sergio, for the premium? You still can create as many as you want. So you can create menus for your food, for beverage, for whatever, and you can even break them up if you want to start getting really granular. And to create a new one, you just want to go to the plus new at the top there, click menu, give your menu a name, whatever you want to call it. And then select whatever concept or location you have in your account that you want it. If you have one in there, it'll auto select to the one location. But if you have multiple, you'll just choose which one you want. Then click create new menu. And this is where, obviously you'll want to have recipes already in your account before doing this. But right from here, just like we showed you before, you just want to click that add menu item. And from here, give that menu item a name and search your own database for whatever item it is, whether it's a plate, whether it's a recipe, and multiple recipes, whether it's multiple ingredients. You're basically searching your entire catalog of items. You can see right there, selecting recipes, selecting combinations of recipes and ingredients, whatever you need. Real quick before you go further, there's also an ID number section at the bottom there, just to give you kind of a preview of what that's going to look like when we're linking to your POS systems. That's going to be an important factor in that, being able to give that ID number a place to connect to those items you're exporting. But to come later down the line.
Yeah. But you can start tracking those numbers now, so that bulk import from a point of sale system will probably also have those menu ID numbers, and we can bring those in and start connecting those there. Then creating categories here, again, appetizer, salad, create whatever categories are necessary for you to sort and view your menu that way. Plug in sell prices here, and you're off to the races, as well as sales data that can start populating here. And then that's closing the loop and creating a whole menu costing scenario from here.
Right. Cool. Yeah, that's more or less the quick and dirty version of menus. So any questions folks have, feel free to chat them into the box there. But obviously those who are on, premium or premium plus already, you're off to the races. You can continue, start using it. It's available for you. If you're on the lower tiers, you'll have to upgrade into those higher ones. But yeah, it's a really great tool for you to just start kind of plugging away your data and start seeing some kind of really good bird's eye view of the information you have there. I do have a question coming in. All right, question is, if I have a different portion size of chicken, for example, on a salad or another sandwich, or on chicken, or on pizza rather, all of which take a different ounce weight of chicken, what's the best approach? So yeah, what's great is that, so if you click on appetizer 1 again, Sergio, and Sergio, there's a little, yeah, okay. See how you bringing in that recipe right there. But if you wanted to search any ingredient as well, you could do that too. So if you want to search, Dijon or something like that, or yeah, chicken, perfect. When do you pick the
ingredient or a recipe? If we were adding the cooked chicken thigh to this, we could put that on there, or the cooked chicken breast, or it could just be the ingredient. But to Doug's point, I think, and tell me if this isn't where you're going, Doug, is then you could adjust, maybe the portion on this recipe is 4 ounces or 6 ounces, but we could definitely put in that we're doing 0.8 of whatever the portion normally is on here. Then we can kind of fiddle with that, or we can actually put in that we're adding, 3 ounces of chicken here. And if that portion has been defined as something that we can control with ounces as well, then that will be changing that cost and putting it across there.
Actually gives a great something that we hadn't talked about, which is modifications and add-ons throughout your menu. If you can add chicken or salmon or whatever to a number of items, having those are options you can add right there. So Craig, hopefully that answers your question there. But basically that's exactly why we have that quantity field right there. So they're not just pulling in a basic, just one of anything. You can select how much of those items. So if it's, normally you have a full salad, but sometimes there's a combination or a special where it's a half salad, you can put in 0.5 and it'll just take half the price there.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions? Surely there are more questions. Don't be shy. Well, we are available, obviously, for more questions. If you want to reach out to our support team or myself or Sergio, we'll be sending you our information along with the recorded webinar after this. So, if you need, want to walk through again a one-on-one demo, we'll be doing more of these webinars. Obviously, those of you who've been here before know are doing them every 2 weeks. So sure, we'll be touching base on this again soon. We have another question that just came in. Perfect. Is there a variance feature, a snapshot, while you make theoretical changes on the fly? When does the base comparison go away? So yeah, exactly. So you can make changes to the menu all you want right now, and it's just going to update as you go. As soon as you click that track variance, it kind of locks what you have in place right now. And then you can just continue making changes over and over again. So if you want to go to the overall menu, Sergio, menu adjustments, yeah, that one. Yep. If you turned off track variance right now and then turned it back on, it kind of resets.
That's where it stops.
Yeah. And now you can make 5, 10 changes. It'll accumulate over time. And so if every time you want to have, make a new change to track just an individual variance, you'd want to turn off that toggle there.
And now it's going to show me the variance of those 2 changes I just made, one in sales data, one in sell price, across those 2.
Yeah, Ashley, great question. I think this is probably a really good feature request if it's not already something we're working on, is can we save versions of the track variance? And I think that's for sure something we would want to get on the list, Sergio. So we'll pass that along because yeah, to be able to save it and come back to it later on to say, okay, what did I do again? What were my changes? Can be that's really important, I'm sure. So we'll definitely be bringing that to our team for sure. And of course, we, as you all know, we do this especially this program. I mean, this feature was done with a lot of feedback from users. We brought different versions throughout this whole process of building it. And so we really value any input. Anyone's got any kind of use cases you have where you're like, it would be cool if we could do it this way or adjust it that way. It's really makes a huge difference to us to have, your feedback and get a sense of kind of how this is going to be used, in your world, in your business. So please feel free to reach out when you've played with it, you have some ideas, you have some feedback. We really do take it to heart.
Yeah. Direct questions can be emailed directly to, we didn't put email addresses here, Doug@getmeez.com or Sergio@getmeez.com. And I know many of you already have one or both of our email addresses.
Exactly. Jake has come in with a question about lemon lime zest. It's a specific question about costing lemon lime zest. I'm not sure if we want to take that offline, Sergio. Jake, I can kind of chat with you offline about it, but there is a prep action for lime zest on every and lemon zest to give you kind of a sense of what that of how that would be costed. Typically, we don't do too many. Yeah, let's go for it.
Yeah.
A lot of costs have come through yet. Oh, here we go.
So if I got into adding a prep action, lemon, zest, it actually pulled up the ingredients. So let me pull up lemon again. And so you see here, there are prep actions that you can either create or that are already programmed that factor that in, zesting a lemon, and it's a certain percentage of that. And that's what's really going to help you, leverage what's built into Meez to grab that information and only cost out the zest of a lemon that you put in, if it's 1 each or grams of it, or, however you put that in, and then it's calculating the zest of 1 lemon there.
A lot of people do kind of create their own ingredient called lemon zest and give it a 0 cost, right, Sergio? Because the lemon will then you wouldn't.
If the lemon's still being used for, juice segments, whatever else. Yep.
Real quick, I want to get to another question that just came in. Does meez connect directly with supplier pricing to suggest improved purchasing behavior? Yeah, we're definitely going in this direction for sure. We have a lot of people have been asking for this exact thing. Getting your own suppliers order guide in there and being able to kind of search. That's exactly why, kind of, Sergio, if you want to go into edit mode real quick and click on one of those pencils next to the ground beef, for instance. That's exactly why we have that item mapping now in the ingredient here, is so that as we're building that exact feature, you're going to be able to search your different suppliers. You're going to see kind of different columns for Cisco, for GFS, for Martin Brothers, whatever suppliers you have and you want to upload there. You'll be able to search those different categories right in here and see which options are available to you. So yeah, Craig, for sure, that's on the radar for us. We're working on it. It's really kind of getting this in place first, and then being able to build that second is kind of was our strategy here.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we are coming up on time here. So any other last dish questions I want to throw in here, feel free. But yeah, we're really excited about this. Really excited to have everyone jumping in here and getting kind of getting some reps in there, getting some menus in there. And letting us know kind of how you like it. We'd love to hear your feedback on this. So feel free to reach out, let us know what you think. Yeah, Sergio, any other last comments?
I was just seeing Israel's latest question here on purchase integration. Work in the European format, meaning the computer configuration. I am not sure how to answer that question, Israel. I'm not sure if I'm clear. But if you want to shoot me an email, we can maybe hop on and discuss that offline.
Yeah, it seems like a tech support issue. Maybe we'll have to bring in one of our tech support team members for that, Israel. So yeah, awesome. Sergio, anything else?
Nope, that'll do it for us.
All right.
Mr. DeLiso, I will dial your phone number because we do have to shut this room down, but I will give you a call as soon as we get off the call here real quick.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Really a pleasure.
All right, guys. Yep. Thank you.